Hey, beautiful mamas. Welcome back to Radiant Mom Rising. Can I just take a moment to say, wow, we're coming up on our 100th episode. 100 episodes of real talk, encouragement, and the messy, beautiful truth about motherhood and personal growth. Honestly, when I started this podcast, I had no idea if anyone would actually listen. Those first few episodes were messy. I stumbled over my words, my voice shook, and I kept thinking, who am I to do this? I'm interviewing these incredible women and I'm just starting out. But here's the beautiful part. I was blessed to be part of a podcast program that connected me with so many amazing women who supported me right from the beginning. Their belief in me reminded me that sometimes you just have to start scared, start imperfect, but start anyway. And now, almost 100 episodes later, here we are. I'm blown away by the incredible community we built. So, to you, the moms who tune in while doing dishes, driving to school drop offs, or sneaking in a little me time, thank you. I'm so deeply grateful for every follow, every review, and every message you send saying this episode helped me. That's why for our 100th episode, I'm doing a giveaway. One lucky listener is going to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Because honestly, who couldn't use an extra $100 for diapers, snacks, or maybe even something just for yourself? Come find me on Instagram at Mary D Coaching and check out the giveaway post for details to enter. It only takes a moment of your time and supports this show. I also want to share something that feels so aligned with this milestone. When I look back at my own journey from feeling burnt out and invisible to becoming the confident, calm, radiant woman I am today, it didn't start with some huge dramatic change. It started with some really simple but powerful questions. Questions like, what's draining me? What do I actually want for myself? Who am I beyond all the roles I play for everyone else? Those questions cracked something open in me. They helped me see that the version of myself I'd always dreamed of becoming was already there. She had just been buried under exhaustion, self doubt, and putting myself last. And that's why I created the Radiant Method. It's the exact process I guide moms through to reconnect with themselves, gain clarity, and unlock the life they actually want to live. To give you a taste of that transformation, I put together something I know will help you take your first step. The Radiant Reset Journal. This isn't just a pretty journal. It's filled with some impactful prompts that helped me shift my perspective and start becoming the woman I always knew I could be. It'll help you let go of what's draining you, gain clarity on what truly lights you up, reconnect with the powerful woman inside of you, and it only takes a few minutes. So, mama, if you've been feeling stuck or lost in the chaos of it all, go grab your free copy now. Just click the link in the show notes. It's my gift to you. So here's your quick action list for today. Grab your free Radiant Reset journal. Enter the giveaway by July 31st because, mama, you're not broken. You're not behind. You're just ready for your next chapter. And it all starts with one small step. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Hey, Radiant Mamas, and welcome back to another powerful episode of Radiant Mom Rising. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and I just have to say, I've really been soaking in the summer season with my family. We recently got a membership at our local YMCA, and it's been such a blessing. I've been loving the yoga classes, and me and my hubby, we've been taking Brea swimming, which has been such a joy. Kate is a little hesitant about the water, but we're hopeful he'll be joining us in the pool soon. And of course, we're still keeping up our weekly pickleball games with the in-laws and my husband's brother. And we even had a fun match recently with my sister-in-law and her husband and their friend and husband. So it's been a sweet reminder to just embrace the season we're in, to make space for joy, for family, and for presence, even when life feels full. Which leads perfectly into today's conversation. I'm joined by Lindsay Davis, an internationally certified coach with a powerhouse background, from leading sales at Chanel to helping entrepreneurs across Africa accelerate their business growth. She's sharing the exact tools and mindset shifts that help mompreneurs grow without burning out. Whether you're just starting or in the middle of scaling, this episode will remind you that you don't have to sacrifice your peace or your presence to build something meaningful. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm with Lindsay Davis today. I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you, Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Mary.
It's a blessing. So thank you. And let's get started. How about you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Lindsay. I'm originally from South Africa, but do live here in Colorado in the US. This is my second time moving here. So I've been here for 6 years this time around. But I am a coach, an internationally certified coach. I love working with entrepreneurs. I love focusing on female entrepreneurs and helping them grow and develop and scale their businesses. Yeah, and I've been doing that for almost a decade and a half now. Just working
Awesome.
around the world in various stages of business. And it's just a driving force. I love to help people really achieve their dreams.
Oh, that's it's a beautiful journey, isn't it, to be able to help people in that way. So tell us a little bit about your backstory and what you've gone through in your own journey that led you to help others in this way.
Sure. So I have been in many different careers. At one point, I was the national sales manager for Chanel in South Africa. I worked for Africa's largest for-profit business accelerator, which is really where I got my hands sort of my toes wet with entrepreneurs. And that was heading up their learning and their coaching academy. So to create the programs that the entrepreneurs would go on, as well as to work with the actual coaches and help certify them so that they could become better entrepreneurial coaches and work with entrepreneurs to take them through their journey. And then had my daughter and had a complete meltdown because I actually stepped into the head of coaching and learning role right when she was about 4 months old, thinking I could do two people's jobs at once, uh, and thinking I'd be infinitely good at it. And I found myself one evening just sitting there going, I can't work 12-hour days. And my child at that point, I got home and she'd hurt herself. And I went to pick her up and she said Mavis. And that was Mavis, her nanny. And that broke my heart. So I had to sit and have a really sort of serious discussion with myself around what's got to give. And it wasn't my kid because I didn't have a child for somebody else to raise. And I know you're a mom as well, but I didn't have a child for somebody else to raise them. So I went in to resign the next day. And fortunately, I worked for a phenomenal man and he just said no. And he sort of within 2 days, I mean, my hours were cut down before the end of the day. My schedule had been cut down. I had to leave the office by 2 in the afternoon. I took a pay cut, and he made it very well known to the company that it was not, I did take a pay cut for it. It wasn't a special case kind of thing. I had an assistant by the end of the week who came on board to help carry some of that load. And it was just with the exception of 12 days, working days in the year, I was forced out of that office by 2 p.m. So I could get home. And there were times when, yes, I may need to take a little bit of work home, but it was almost never. But it was a big eye opener for me. It's helped me. I mean, for somebody to be like, what do you need? And as a mom and as a female trying to do it all, and I was like, I'm doing it. I hadn't actually allowed myself to think that. So that then drove me to a point where I started learning about boundaries and what do I need and what do I want and how do I make this work. And then when we moved to South Africa and I decided or to the US from South Africa, and I decided to just continue my coaching business by myself and not go necessarily back into the corporate world, I built my business around my life and not my life around my business. Mm. And that is something that I help entrepreneurs do. And it's really, I mean, there's a workshop that I created that I do with a lot of entrepreneurs, which is called The Art of Getting the Right Shit Done. Because we spend a lot of time, like I open the workshop just saying like busy. Who here, like how's everybody? And busy has become the new fine. It's also a 4-letter word for a reason. Because we do. Everybody's like, oh, I'm so busy. We wear it like a medal. Yeah. And busy is not good. Busy is bad. Busy means you are ineffective at time management. So I've spent a lot of time working with entrepreneurs about how do we build this business around your life instead of your life around your business. And too often entrepreneurs fall into this trap of it's the hustle. I've got to hustle. I've got to be going all day, every day. I've got to work evenings. I've got to work weekends. I've got to be up. I'm like, but do you? And maybe you do need to be doing that, but what else is happening on the other side? I was chatting with a client last night about laundry services,
Hmm.
where you can now get an app on your phone and you type in and you say, I need my laundry done, and you put it outside your front door in a bag, and somebody picks it up and they do it and they bring it back and they put it outside your front door and they charge you.
Wow.
I'm like, that's great. Then you're not spending the time doing the laundry if you need to spend time doing something else. So it really is about balance and boundaries. And that's, yeah,
Yeah. And,
that's,
and that's such a huge thing for moms. I mean, especially moms who are wanting to get in business. Lord knows my journey has been so eye-opening for me too, because had a newborn and a toddler, and then I have another one in high school when I got started in my business. And so it's like, and I was working a full-time job at home. So I had literally only was given a week when my third child was born to take off because nobody else could do my job. So everything was solely relied on me. So I had to keep working, even though I'm trying to, nurse a new baby, be there. And I was blessed that I got to work from home. So that was a very big blessing.
yeah,
But you're right. It's hard for so many moms to believe that they're even capable of starting a business while having all these things going on. So I love having these kind of conversations to show just how possible it is. It's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about helping moms like I do because I'm in it. I'm in the trenches. I've done it. I understand, but I also know what's possible. Lord knows, I mean, even just doing this podcast, any logical person in my life at the time would have been like, that's too much. You're stretching yourself too thin. That you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to do it. And
mhm,
here I am, like I just released like my 87th episode, and I have so many more on the books too coming. So it's like I'm doing it, and that's on top of, being present. Like I don't work evenings and weekends. I done exactly what you said about um because I was like that too in the beginning of, feeling like I had to do all the things and hustle, whatever. But then I realized I'm missing out on my time with my kids. My husband's getting upset because he's having to work his butt off, come home, and then take care of the kids. And where's his wife? And he doesn't get any time with me because I'm exhausted. I was so drained at the end of the day trying to do all the things. So boundaries has been a huge game changer. And I'd love for you to speak more to that. So if a mom is listening right now and it's like, I would love to start a business, but I don't see how.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure you get that all the time. Like, what would you say to them?
Well, my first question would be what business? And looking at it, if somebody says to me they want to open like a multi-million dollar retail chain, I'm going to be like, well, where do we start? There's got to be a starting point, and you can build up to things.
Yeah.
So we can find that. The other thing is, and a question I ask a lot is, what is, and it's flawed because you can actually only have one, but I said, and what are your priorities?
Hmm.
And then I'll ask them to tell me where those fit in. Because if we're not taking care of our priorities first, we start to resent everything else. Like you say, your husband would come home and he's like, where's my wife?
Yeah.
Kids probably needed 10 times more from him because they weren't getting what they needed from you.
Hmm.
So by filling our personal cups first, like doing the one twos first, and it can't all be one twos. Like I would, it's raining here today. I want to lie in bed with a good book, but things have to happen.
Yep.
But at some point, like you've got to fill that cup. So I would say to them, let's look at what your priorities are. Let's get those in, and then let's see what time is left. And you absolutely can start any business you want. It may just take you a little bit longer.
Hmm.
And that is not failing.
Yeah.
You may
No.
just start on a smaller scale. And it's understanding that piece. And then the other thing I talk to my clients about is a graceful no. I mean, if you've read Essentialism, if you've read James Clear, Atomic Habits, like just being able to say no
Hmm.
is a great thing. And it doesn't have to be a hard no. I mean, as moms, we all know the hard no that comes out in the grocery store when they turn around with like all the candy and the chips. It's like, nope,
Nope,
put it
not
back. Not happening.
today.
Not happening.
Yeah.
But there's graceful no's where you can learn to start saying to people, thank you for considering me, but I'm actually not the right person for that.
Yeah.
Or absolutely, I can do this, but not right now. Or another one that I use that I read years ago and it stuck with me was, if I'm saying yes to this, what do I need to say no to?
Mhm. I like that.
And so, and that's a question you can just put in your own head is if I'm going to say yes to this, what do I need to say no to? And that's how you can set that boundary.
Love that.
And it's just, it's an easy way to be like, okay, just weigh these things up. What's it going to take away from if I do this? And it's like, okay, oh, maybe it just takes this away. Oh, yes, I
Mm.
can do it.
Yeah.
It's, and the other thing we need to look at as particularly mums is we need to stop being martyrs. Children can make their own beds,
Hmm.
or maybe the bed doesn't need to be made. In my house, it has to be made, but we got to weigh those things up. Like,
Yeah.
are you the only one who has to do the laundry?
Yeah.
Is it a bad thing to order your groceries online? Is it a bad thing to say, you know what, kids, one night this week we're going to have pizza?
Yeah.
And that's the night you don't cook. Maybe you and your husband have a date night, even if it's at home, but you're not in the kitchen cooking. You put the kids down with a pizza, and the two of you maybe just sit next to each other with a glass of wine and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's all about that balance, and that balance is going to come from boundaries.
Yes, boundaries is huge, and I think that's beautiful what you're saying because I'm an advocate for that of parents understanding the importance too of the skills that you're teaching your children, to clean up after themselves, to do dishes, do their own laundry, clean up their own rooms. Like they're going to have to do this for themselves eventually, so why not get it to the point where it's like, second nature. Okay, this is just what we do. My 17-year-old, he, mows the yard, he cleans his own bathroom, he does the dishes, he does laundry, he helps us out with that. And he even watches the kids when we want to go play pickleball or do something outdoors or whatever. And that's great. Not everyone is in that particular situation because I was a single mom with him too. So I know what it's like to also be that single mom and trying to having to do it all, work a job, and he was in daycare. And that's one of the things that's funny with manifestation, that is such a powerful thing that I've never even really realized, like how we manifest whether we want to or not. Like we're always manifesting whether it's good or bad. And so for so long I didn't realize, like I was creating my own challenges, my own struggles. But this is why I love about the life coaching and what it helps you to see and how it supports you to implement. Because so many times it's like we don't realize, like we're getting all these answers, like we can have these conversations. We know what we need to do, what we can do, what we're capable of doing, but actually implementing it, that
Mhm.
is the challenge. And there's nothing wrong with that. If we can kind of be real and understand that, you know what? Hello, we get in our own ways. We talk ourselves out of things all the time. So, knowing this, instead of trying to be resistant to asking for help, ask for the help, get the support, because man, does it amplify you. I am grateful, so grateful for the coaches that I have invested into, who have helped me not just understand and see life in a different way, but actually take steps. Action is where everything changes. You can sit here all you want and want and want and want, but until you actually start doing, that is where you start seeing the changes. And it takes consistency. And for me, I know as a mom, I mean, I'm very flexible, but that was always my problem, is I would start off strong and then eventually fall back, which is why I knew I needed that consistent support of somebody keeping me on track, holding me accountable, keeping me motivated in those times where I talk myself out. But getting back to the manifestation thing too, I remember when I was a single mom and going through that, and I was missing out on so much of my son's life. I couldn't go on his field trips. I was just so needed in the work that I was doing. I remember dreaming and visualizing and putting it out there that I wanted to work from home.
Mhm.
And by the time I had my second child later in life, it was amazing how an opportunity showed up that was completely unexpected to it was working for a family in a landscape company, but it was like, it just felt divine timing. It's just beautiful. But I never even stopped to realize it until later on when I was into the coaching, that how I really manifested that, and how I used to sit there and visualize and dream of it and put it out there that I would love to work from home. Did I know how? Absolutely not. I had no idea how that was going to unfold. I didn't really even I sometimes kind of looked around, but I never really knew. But it was beautiful to see how it did unfold. And then I created this at-home job of running landscaping. And that was a start to something that opened up a new door for me to run into life coaching that I fell in love with because of how it transformed me. So yeah, it's amazing when we start taking care of ourselves. And when you talk about boundaries too, I feel like understanding our values is also such a crucial thing, like what you were saying. So I'd love to hear how you have helped these entrepreneurs in really getting grounded and as far as their values, setting boundaries, like what did it look like working with them and the shifts that they went through as
Yeah.
I started implementing these things.
So I like to tell stories because I think it'll give you the real examples
Yes,
of
love it.
people.
Hmm.
I worked with a group of women at one stage, and we were going through the art of getting the right shit done. And I asked the question, I was like, what are your priorities? And the one woman put up her hand and she's like, well, my mom's dying of breast cancer. And I said, okay, well, I'm very sorry about that. And then I heard from a couple other people, and then I said, okay, now open your calendars and tell me where your priorities are showing up in your calendars. And she just burst into tears because at like nowhere in her calendar was time with her mother. She was squeezing it in around other things, and it broke her. And I mean, not in a bad way, but it was this moment for her of like, uh, no, like no. So that was a really big one, and I'll often start with that question with my clients. But and that's why when you said, like, how would I start with somebody who wants a business, I'd ask what type, and then we'll
Yes.
figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
But it's what is important, and let's plan that in first. Let's get that done first, and then we'll figure out how much time we have for the rest, knowing that there's life. Life always happens.
Yeah.
So I also work on don't plan more than 75% of your day,
Mm-hmm.
because if you do, you don't have that's when you don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll work through that a lot with my clients. The other thing I do, particularly when it comes to business,
Mm-hmm.
is we'll look at your personal values and then look at how those translate into your business. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the same company that I worked for, where they cut my hours and things, some of his personal values, like one of his was creating wealth for himself. But how did that turn into his business? One of the values in all of the values in the business was around a 40% return on investment. So if it was not highly profitable, and that's what highly profitable meant to him, but the value is highly profitable, he would not take on the work.
Oh, I love that.
Even if it was going to be a couple of $1 million of profit, if it wasn't 40% return on investment or more, he wouldn't do it because then it wasn't profitable to him. It was just money. And it wouldn't that amount of money wouldn't translate into him being able to pay himself what he wanted to create the wealth he wanted personally.
Oh, wow.
So it's really important. I mean, that's a money example that's easy to
That's
measure, but
yeah.
like, what are your personal values and how do those show up in the business? Because that also helps when it's tough, when money is tight, when timelines are short, all of those things. If you're working in the right place and it's aligned with your personal vision,
Yeah.
it'll be a lot easier to get through that tough time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sure would. And 'cause for me, when you say that, like I think about, outside of the money situation, like you said, which is a great example because that's another thing that people as women, we feel afraid to openly say we want more money, like we want wealth, like we don't feel like we're allowed to say that. And no, we absolutely are. There's something wrong with that. Money is just something that helps us to give back and do more, not just for our families and ourselves, but for others that we serve. So that's a great way to shift from that. But that aside, it's like for me, that was the biggest part of my personal values was that my underlying reason why was that I wanted to be able to have the flexibility and spend more time with my family. I want to be present. I want to be there. I want us to be able to enjoy life together and not just survive. So that was what was one of the key things that I had to really step back and ask myself when I was hustling and doing all the things that I thought I needed to do. Is this what I is this how I want to become successful? Like, is this aligned with how I want to run my business? And then when I shifted from that, it's like so much changed for me and how I showed up and how I worked my time and even now I'm still always learning. I'm always growing and that's the thing in this world. You are always learning and growing. And I love it because the more I learn, the more I can serve and the more I can help my clients. And this is why this is such a fun journey to be on. And I want people to learn to have fun with it instead of being so I feel like that instant gratification is something that comes up a lot is in today's world, everybody wants it now, now, now. But when we can take a step back and honor where we are, but still take action, like even baby steps, I'm huge on baby steps because I think that anything is better than nothing. So even if you can just figure out, like you said, finding your priorities, time management is a huge thing. And I'm sure that's a huge part of what you work with people because it, you'd be surprised like how much we can reclaim our time when we really look at it and see where it is. But I think it's great. And I would love to also know how things have been as far as a mom with your own business, how that has impacted your kid. Do you have just one child?
Just one,
Okay.
just one child.
Yes.
So,
How
and
that impacted
yeah,
everything.
so when we first moved here, I mean, she was little, and so one of the big things for her, she had some separation anxiety. I mean, when she started a preschool, she talks to this day, she'll still talk about her 2-year-old school, her 3-year-old school, her 4-year-old school, and her 5-year-old school, because it was just getting settled and all the other things. And when we first got her into preschool, despite the fact that my sister was the principal at that preschool, we sent her there deliberately so she'd have a friendly face, but she started freaking out at the end of the school day, not the beginning of the school day. And so she was happy to see her friends, but at the end of every school day, she'd start to cry. And we were like, we will be here no matter what. We will pick you up. One of us will pick you up no matter what. You're not going to get put on the bus. And like one of us, and it has been, when I say I built my business around my life, 2:30 to 3:30 every single day, Monday to Friday. You cannot get into my calendar for love or money because I pick her up. And one of the things that I do in that boundary setting is it says, pick Ava up from school. So if I need to move that for somebody, which almost never happens,
Yeah.
I've got to delete my own child's name.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like for those people who have issues with the boundary set, I'm like, put a little bit of guilt around that. This is that important. Put her name to it. Because then you are going to think twice and be like, who is Joe Soap and why are they more important than my kid for that one? Like you say, you can find time. When we stop just wasting it, when we get really specific about what we're doing, when we start to focus on the right shit,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how much time pops up in your calendar.
Yeah.
When you start being like, no, I'm sorry, you can wait another week for this meeting. Or actually, I mean, I had somebody who wanted to meet last week, beginning of last week, over that block. And I said, I'm terribly sorry, I cannot. So he got up and he's based in British Columbia. And he was on a call at 7 a.m. for him because I had an 8 o'clock spot open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was that important. He made a plan. I didn't have to move my kid. He
Yeah.
made a plan because the conversation was important. So I think that's one of the really good things around just sort of protecting it and how it sort of impacts things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And how old is she now?
9.5. The half is really important. So
Oh, yes. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's going to be amazing as she grows and keeps watching her mom, chasing after her dreams, helping others. And I've always been an advocate for that with children and how we set the example and how we role model. And it's so important to their growth, their development. So I can imagine what she's learned so far from this journey with you doing all this for others. And that's exciting. I'm excited about that. So,
from time to time, poke her head in. I've got a couple of clients that I've been working with for years,
uh-huh.
and there'll just be a little head that pops up here,
I love
and
it.
she'll be like, I will. And then, I mean,
Yes.
some of my clients, when she's heard that they've had kids, she's like, can we get them a book or can we send them a gift? And it's just really nice for her
Yeah.
to see that sort of thing and to be introduced to people, but also to know that, like, I don't know, if you need your family, they'll be there for you.
Yeah.
But and you can, I think for her also to know that you can be successful while building your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly is. And I think it's, one of the things I've learned is really learning to enjoy and appreciate and be grateful for your now as you're working towards your goals. It's like I think that's where the burnout and the overwhelm comes from a lot of times is that we're so focused on the end game and the destination that we forget that it's a journey to get there. And if we can shift our focus, well, still always envisioning, visualize that future, see yourself. There's nothing that's beautiful, but don't stay there. Come and enjoy your present and learn to have fun and enjoy the journey and grow as you're meant to. And like I said, I believe in divine timing. Like, I don't think you'll ever show up any sooner than you're meant to. Like, you're going to find your people when you are meant to. And the more you work on yourself and focus on that, the more you'll attract it. The more you'll find them and the doors of opportunities open for you. So it's always great to see the evidence out there of everyone doing things so differently, everyone making things happen for themselves. And also when you really look at like those really big successful people like Tony Robbins, they all have a story. They all have had their struggle. They all have had to go through their own journeys to get to where they are. I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, too, the question is what does success look like for you? And that's so important to really get grounded on because it's not always about being rich. I mean, because there's so many people out there who have plenty of money and they're miserable. They're very unhappy. So I think it's all really about, being true to yourself and figuring out what really lights you up. And I think this is why becoming an entrepreneur has been such a gift because I, for so long, dedicated my life to working for others so that they can live good. And I'm barely surviving. And I got to the point where I was tired of that. I was tired of being in the background, killing myself, carrying the weight of other people's companies, helping them succeed while I don't even know how I'm going to afford to feed my kids.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think this is amazing. And tell us a little bit more too about some of the people you've worked with and how you've helped them to up level their business.
Sure. So I've had some great success stories. One of my longest standing clients, when I met him, he's in the diamond industry in South Africa. And when I met him, he was just starting out and we were messing around with logos and backstories and packaging and all of the things. And I mean, we've had some great conversations. He'll still talk about the day I called bullshit on him, and I literally did like slam my hand on the table. I was like, "This is bullshit. What do you actually want?" And one of the most amazing things, and this is through his hard work, is 2 years ago he crowned Miss South Africa.
What?
It's the most beautiful crown, and so this year's Miss South Africa is wearing it as well. But he and his wife have built this phenomenal black-owned just husband wife diamond empire. He's one of the first black site holders, which means that he purchases many millions of dollars of rough diamonds per year and polishes them and sells them on. He's just gone from success to success, and it was wonderful to see him from this almost fledgling entrepreneur getting all the way up to like, wow, here you are. Other clients, I mean, I started work with a client last year who, again, just a small one-woman show who was just plodding along doing her thing and has doubled her turnover. And this year is set to double it again. And I mean, she's in the neurodivergent space. And so it's
No.
great that she's really giving back to a community that is so important to her. And the
Yeah.
work she does is about giving back to them and building resources and getting out there. So just when I look at clients like that, or my client that I was talking to last night, I mean, I've been coaching I've been coaching him for the last 6 years. And when I met him, he was in a marketing associate job for a charity, wanted to go out as a coach, anything else. And now I mean, he's built this coaching and facilitation, this
Yeah.
beautiful business.
Yeah.
He earns as much in 3 months as he did in an entire year.
Love that.
And so it's just those are the things. Yes, some of it's money, but it's being able to sort of be flexible to give back to your community. It's looking at, and I mean, the bullshit conversation I had with my diamond client was he kept thinking to a certain point, and then it was just he couldn't get past, like he was stumbling at that point, and eventually I was like, "This is bullshit. Please stop lying. This is bullshit. What do you want?" And it turns out that the point he was getting to, he eventually said to you, "This isn't what I want. This is a stepping stone to get to where I want to go." I was like, "So why are we not going there?" But he was stopping at where he thought he should go to, like people wanted him to go to.
Yeah.
And for him, it was much bigger.
Oh, I love that.
So, yeah. So that's just been an amazing journey to look at and just to see clients grow. And I mean, I'm working with a gentleman now. I actually work with talking about like ways to get more stuff done and take back your time. I use an AI driven product to help increase profits without having to spend money on marketing.
Awesome.
And it's just like, let's plug it in here and let's do these few steps and see how much more money we can make you. But I'm working with a guy now who he borrowed money against his house to start it, to buy his franchise. And for the last couple of years, it hasn't made money. It's lost money year on year. And I'm like, I don't, and then he lost his full-time job. And I was like, I don't want you to lose your home. And so we've been working together to really build this and using AI in the background to help power a bunch of stuff and look at the profitability of the business. And with his work and just being able to be focused, like laser focused, like today we are doing this. We're going to plug this in, we're going to increase your prices and look at what's going to happen. We're going to look at these programs. Oh, this one, if you staffed it differently, would no longer run at a loss, would make a 30% profit. So we've done this with him and with the help of this program, but he will be profitable through summer.
Wow.
And
That's
so,
amazing.
like, to look at, he's not making money, but he's not losing money. And if we
Yeah.
can continue that,
Yeah.
by the end of summer, we want him to be sitting on a 40% gross profit. And by the end of the year, I want him on a 50% gross profit, because then
Nice.
that will drop down to the bottom line. And then we can start paying back and get him out of trouble.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Home.
Oh my
And
gosh.
all while he's still like trying to find a job and doing all the other things, because this franchise was supposed to be their sort of their nest egg, kind of build it on the side and let it grow. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to be laid off. So I'm like, let's fix this. Let's take the stress out of your life. Let's get
Yes.
back to what the plan A was
Yeah.
by going through plan B and fixing it. So
That is incredible what you do, Lindsay. That's, see, I love meeting people like you and hearing these stories because it's so powerful because we all are in different places and different struggles, and all ultimately we want as coaches is to really help support these people as they take action for themselves and really implement what we know, what's been proven to work and to help people, and that's something I see a lot of is how just stuck people get. And I've been guilty of that too. I completely understand it because it is so easy to have this want and desire, but you're coming from your reality of what you've only allowed yourself to see that's happened for you personally. So it's like having to believe that, okay, that comparison of like, well, she's doing this and she's got, she probably has it easier, has his team or has his stuff. I see it a lot. It's hard for a lot of moms to think that, well, how am I don't have the kind of following, I don't have that kind of budget, I don't have that kind of, support. So who am I to think that I can make it? And I love to challenge people to instead think of like, well, if she can make that happen, then so can I.
yeah,
Who are you not to? And there's so many people out there I feel like we're depriving by not showing up. And for a long time I was scared. I was so nervous because I was afraid that of what people would think about me who knew the old of Mary, the old version that I was of, somebody who was an addict as a teen or who, just struggled her whole life. And I had so much generational trauma and limitations of what we were taught to believe about when it came to money and my relationship with money. So I just feel like it's so powerful when we can really be open to seeing the possibilities that can happen and that there are so many people too who have been stuck in those places, and there's people like you, Lindsay, who can help you to really like not stay in that fear and that stuck state and actually be like, hey, look, what can we do? Let's
yeah,
not even worry about that. Like, but all we can worry about is what kind of step can we take now to move you forward so that you can get out of this and profit even more than you could ever imagine. So I commend you for the work that you're doing and how you help others. And for anyone listening right now who would love to learn more about working with you, where's the best place that they can find you?
sure. So you can either go look for me on LinkedIn, which would be under Lindsay Davis, or Gray Coaching. Or if you really want to find me, go to my website, which is www.graycoaching.net. And that is Gray Coaching with an A. So
Awesome, awesome. And I'll make sure to include all your links in the show notes too for easy access for anyone listening. And I always love to open the floor to as any final piece of advice or thoughts that you'd like to share with the listeners.
I think my biggest piece of advice, and it's something that I got from one of my coaches that I was listening to, is does this get me more of what I want? So when you're looking at the actions you need to take, and if you just do something every day, you've done more than nothing. But when it comes to your family, your friends, your time, your work, your choices, all of that. The question that I just keep in the back of my mind is, does this get me more of what I want? And if
Right.
the answer is no, don't do it. And don't be afraid of saying no. If the answer is yes, why haven't you done it yet? I mean, really. But it just, and if you, the answer is I don't know, then the next step is, well, what do you want? And be true to yourself. Some people just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Great. How do I make that happen? Maybe it's like you, Mary, where it's like, okay, I need to build a job that will allow me to be a stay-at-home mom
Yeah.
because I also need to put food on the table.
Yeah.
So the answer needs to be a bit creative sometimes. But if the question is, does this get me more of what I want? That would be that would be what I tell people.
I love that. That's a powerful question. And it's something daily that you should always check into before and after your day to kind of learn and figure out, well, what did I do? What could I've done differently? And just, love on yourself too. Give yourself some grace, some compassion. Like you say, life happens and, and it's okay. And this,
And it's okay. And it's we all fall down. If you look at as a mom, if you look back at your kids, they learn every day. I mean, they go from not being able to breathe to within seconds of being born, they can suddenly breathe oxygen and they can kind of see. And then at first year, learn to breathe, roll over, sit, stand, walk, speak, chew, swallow, like all the things. They learn to sneeze. Some of them learn to blow their noses. They learn to laugh. And you're just like, if they can do that in a year, do you know what we are capable of?
right?
If we could just take that negative, I can't do it, it's too hard, I don't have time, I don't have resources, I don't have the money, I'm not Martha Stewart. Well, somebody else bakes Martha Stewart's cakes, I can guarantee that. So don't compare yourself to everybody else. But
Yeah,
if we can get rid of all of that stuff, just think what we would be capable of.
absolutely.
And it may not happen tomorrow, but if you take one step each day, you're suddenly going to get there.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, it's like, whoa, I can't believe I accomplished all this. And you're going to be your future self will always thank you for the things that you took chances on, the risks that you took. You will always thank you because the growth that comes, even from the mistakes we make, because I believe like failure is such a learning curve. It's not a bad thing. We're so afraid of it because we were taught in school, like, you can't fail, you're not allowed to get an F, whatever. But it's like, no, for me, the mistakes I've made along the way, even just with jobs, has taught me the most. I was more mindful around it. I learned the most with it. So I always challenge people too with that. Like, don't look at the things that went wrong as a bad thing. All you need to look at is like, well, what did go right? And what can I learn from this? Or what can I tweak maybe for next time to be, to have a different outcome? That I feel like is such a powerful way of seeing it and just keep going. No matter what, just keep going. Because I know that's me. I literally have a sticker that says no matter what. I have my little affirmations all the time reminding me of that I'm worthy of my dreams and goals. And it's just such a powerful way to live, regardless of where your circumstances may be right now.
100%. I mean, if you're having the hardest day of your life, to get up might be the only thing you do, but guess what? You did it.
Ah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
You
Well,
think that kind of stuff, but you did it. So it's just like anything you do, celebrate.
yeah, always, always, even this, especially the small wins, because with everything going on as moms, we're so hard on ourselves. We got to start loving on ourselves and giving ourselves compassion just like we would our kids. We really have to start treating ourselves in the way we treat our loved ones and really love ourselves, really take care of ourselves and just know that we are worthy and that we are meant for more. So let's find out what that more is. Let's go after it, put ourselves, just do the things. Just have fun and do the things.
Do it. And if it
Yep.
fails, let it fail quickly. And if it fails, learn from it.
Mhm.
What a great example for your kids to see the way you react. I've said to my daughter a number of times, it's not what you do, it's what you do next that counts. So if you hurt somebody's feelings, that's not great. But are you brave enough to turn around and admit to it and say, I'm sorry?
Exactly. Taking that responsibility, that accountability. I do it all the time with my kids, and I'm trying to teach them that too. Like, mistakes happen. It's okay. You can, it's a learning opportunity. What can you do going forward? You know, how that is so powerful for our children to understand and for that, you're right, for us to model for them. Because I mean, I have my moments. We all know as moms, we've had those times where we snap and we yell or whatever, and immediately we regret it. But it's okay because what I love doing now with my kids is instead of just beating myself up internally, I own up to it and I let them know, you know what? Mommy didn't really respond very good. I want to apologize. I'm sorry for that. And I'd like to kind of start over and get you to understand that blah, 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 whatever it was. But I
You know,
still,
that's my finest moment. I shouldn't have screamed at you like
yeah,
that. I was angry,
yeah,
but I shouldn't have taken it out on you like that. I'm all for that because they will, and
yeah,
I think, I mean, as a mom of a daughter, I want her to be strong and brave
yes.
and to know that she can say no when she wants to and yes
Mhm.
when she needs to, and just, yeah, and it's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. I have one daughter and two sons, and my daughter especially, like she's like a mini me, and I'm just all I can think about is how insecure I was growing up and how that led me down such dark path in my younger self. And my goal is to be the confident role model for her and let her and always have her speak affirmations. I am beautiful. I am worthy. You know, I am powerful. I am amazing. I love to have her always repeat this confidence in herself because those are the beliefs I want her growing up with subconsciously. So, yeah, again, Lindsay, I just want to thank you so much for all that you've shared and for all that you're doing. I truly know that so many people are going to have amazing results by working with you and for just being in your world. So, anyone who's listening, go check out Lindsay, go get connected with her today. And thank you so much for being part of my podcast journey.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your podcast journey. I mean, you say you're doing it, 87 plus episodes, so well done, and thank you for having me. It's been, I think, I think we met a couple of months ago that we've been waiting for today.
Yes, I know. I know. It's like it's so crazy to like how much this has grown already for me and the short amount of time that I've been doing it and to get to meet some people and then it's like, oh, now I'm not going to get to meet for a little bit more. Again, a learning curve. Like I'm shifting things, I'm learning as I go to make it to where it's like rewarding and easy for everybody. So it's awesome. But like again, like there's so many different things and there's so much other directions I will take my podcast later on as it grows and grows, which is so cool too, because it's like nothing's ever like set in stone. And I always like to tell people that too. It's like just because you start in one direction does not mean you're like, okay, this is it. I have to just stay with this niche or whatever for the rest of my life. It's like, no, as you go on, that's what's so cool. It's your business, which means you get to decide how you want to move forward. If you start doing something for a couple months and it doesn't feel right, all right, well, let's shift to something else. That's okay, you know? So I love it. I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful for you, Lindsay. Thank you so much again.
Thanks so much. Really been good, Mary. Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed our talk as much as we did having it. Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. You can scale your business without sacrificing your values, sanity, or family time. It all starts with alignment. You deserve strong, loving boundaries, especially as a mom and entrepreneur balancing multiple roles. You have the power to say no gracefully and protect your energy for what matters most. You don't need to do it all. Focusing on your core priorities can create more growth, not less. You can tap into AI and modern tools to streamline your business and boost profitability without adding to your workload. You are a role model. How you show up in your business teaches your kids about purpose, persistence, and balance. You're allowed to redefine success in a way that reflects both your heart and your ambitions. You are capable of growing something powerful by staying rooted in your truth, your vision, and your boundaries. You get to grow at your own pace. And the most lasting growth happens when it's aligned, not rushed. To learn more about Lindsay, be sure to visit her at graycoaching.net today. Before we wrap up, Mama, don't forget there's still time to enter the $100 Amazon gift card giveaway in celebration of our upcoming 100th episode. If you haven't entered yet, this is your friendly nudge to go for it. Just follow or subscribe to the show on your favorite app, leave a 5-star rating or review, and then let us know you did by commenting done on the giveaway post at Mary D Coaching on Instagram. You've got a little time left, and hey, $100 to spend on whatever you want? Yes, please. Also, mark your calendar and make sure to sign up for the next Mama Means Business networking event. It's happening on Tuesday, August 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your space to show up for yourself, connect with other powerhouse moms, grow your business, and be a part of a community that sees you, supports you, and celebrates your wins. It's always powerful, and your presence matters. And Mama, I've been working behind the scenes on something truly special. I'll soon be sharing more about my Radiant Method, a unique and transformational process built from years of personal growth, coaching experience, and lessons learned the hard and beautiful way. It's everything I've found to be essential for truly finding yourself, stepping into your purpose, and navigating life and business with confidence, clarity, and grace. So stay tuned because it's coming soon. And until then, just know that I'm here, always cheering you on, always believing in your worth and your limitless possibilities. When you're ready to take action and create real lasting change, you know where to find me. Visit marydibblecoaching.com to connect, explore your next steps, and discover what's waiting for you. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep believing in all you desire. You got this, Mama. Much love.